Welcome to Let Me Know How It Is, a pop culture podcast about TV, movies, comics, and all things geek. For today's show, we're talking about so-so comic movies, but with great stuff in them. Thanks for listening. I love it when comic book movies are great. We all do, but they can't all be winners every time. Sometimes, even if movies just sometimes there's some great stuff in there. So we're going to talk about them today. I'm Zach Slater.
I'm Frank Melman.
This is Tommy Smithereens.
And I'm Clifton.
All right, so for clarity, this doesn't have to be a full scene. It could be a performance, a moment, a line, the look of the movie, anything you enjoyed from an otherwise so-so comic movie. So kick us off.
So in a movie that's not tied to the rest of the Marvel Cinematic Universe, but it is a movie that I liked at the time, but more and more as I've gone back to watch it, I only like scenes from it, and it's the Ang Lee Hulk movie.
Okay.
I don't like it. I don't like it anywhere near as much as I did when I first watched it. But the scene that always gets me, the one that I'm always like, "That's the Hulk. That's a Hulk right there," is the one where he's suddenly they're in San Francisco and suddenly he's in the desert,
right?
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden he's jumping, and then the artillery shells start to hit him, and then he's the Hulk fighting the army. I'm like, that is perfect. It's right out of I expected Thunderbolt Ross to lead in the charge, coming over the ridge with all these tanks.
Yeah.
And it's a great scene because it feels very much like, if you ever read, especially like older Hulk comics, they don't really do that bit that much anymore with Hulk being chased by the army. But in those Bronze Age ones, definitely, it was always every other month he was being chased by the army somewhat. But that one for me. And then if you've ever seen the behind the scenes bit, because Ang Lee is the one wearing the motion capture suit.
Right.
So it's Ang Lee tearing up a tank.
That's funny.
And making the faces. Why he didn't let what's his name? Who played the Hulk at that one?
Eric Bana.
Thank you. Yes,
Yeah.
which also sounds like an alias for Dr. Bruce Banner.
Yeah, Eric Bana. Yeah.
Why kind of like you have that Goodwill Hunting moment with Eric Bana, solving an equation. Like, why does that guy who's mopping our floors know all this stuff? It's like because he's secretly the Hulk. But
Right.
but yeah, that scene to me always reads right in a movie that it sort of tunes in and out on the Hulk bit for me.
Yeah. I'm with you.
Yeah.
I'm with you for sure. Yeah, I don't like the movie at all, but
Okay.
No.
Ang Lee plays a good Hulk.
He does. His Hulk is great.
Yeah, he plays a really good Hulk.
Yeah. Why they didn't get him back for the Marvel movies, I'll never know. But he is fantastic.
He smashes the crap out of that tank.
Yes, he does.
Yeah, it's really cool to watch him do it. It's really, really fun. So yeah, I would say that scene in particular, in that movie, really cool.
Yeah, rips the turret off and just flings it. Yeah, I remember that scene.
Yeah. Well, and then the other thing is, it's got that great G.I. Joe moment of nobody's hurt because he throws that tank and then the guy sort of just crawls out of it.
Of course, crawls out of it. Yeah.
Instead of oozing out of it in pieces, because that's what would have happened to him.
Yeah.
Yeah. Love that scene.
I do think the movie's worth watching overall just to see the choices Ang Lee makes.
Yeah.
So they don't always work, but they're fascinating to see even when they don't work.
Mm-hmm.
Like the split screen that he goes for to kind of simulate
Panels.
a comic panel page.
Yeah.
They're very interesting choices. And I do like seeing what he was envisioning as a comic book movie at that point in time when we were just getting the new wave of them had just set out with X-Men and Spider-Man.
I remember thinking that the split screening was really, really cool, and I loved that somebody tried it and was messing with it. But at the same time, then I was really relieved
that it didn't catch on.
That it didn't catch on because it was that was one of those things. I'm like, man, if this movie was a monster mega hit for some reason,
right?
That could have influenced everything, I think, down the line.
Well, it's also funny because if you go back and look at the credits from the Lou Ferrigno, Bill Bixby Hulk, there's a little bit of that in it, in the beginning where it's kind of panel, and then great shot of him ripping up the lab. So it's one of the things where I was right. I mean, if you remember that, right?
Yeah, 100% correct.
So it's one of those things where I was I wondered if it was just, I mean, it's a cool choice. I'm not saying it's not. And it's one of the things where I was kind of wondering, I've often kind of wondered if whether or not that was where a little homage to that, or whether it was just kind of the idea, like you said, of just being the panel transition.
Right.
But either way, yeah, I was glad it didn't catch on either. I thought it was cool for the scene, but, Gamma Dogs and everything, it's not the best Hulk movie ever.
Yeah. Hulk poodles.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Exactly. Right.
yeah.
And then and absorbing dad at the end.
Yeah.
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 Yeah, I think the Wolverine solo movies are kind of rife with this too,
Mm-hmm.
of having a few good moments for the first couple until you get to Logan, which
Right.
is
Right.
solid.
Yes.
So the first couple, the Wolverine Origins and the Wolverine, are kind of rife with this. Of like in Wolverine Origins, the opening scene is great.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that was on my list.
The throughout history scene
Mhm.
is great, where you see him fighting different battles and stuff. Like that's great.
What stuck out the most is him and Sabretooth going through the years
Mm-hmm.
of fighting, being in every war together, side by side, just
Right,
basically killing everybody on the battlefield.
right.
I didn't have any of this on my list. Like I forgot to think about it, but I will I'll defend Taylor Kish as Gambit. Like he's kind of perfect for it. Like he kind of
Right.
looks like him. It's just like what drove me nuts is that they CGI'd like the cards of him shuffling them,
Mm-hmm.
I know
and they
that.
made it like so like he's flipping them through the air,
Right.
and
Oh,
it's
yeah,
like gravity doesn't exist. And I remember thinking, I'm like, I mean, you can't just go to Vegas and
Right.
like, find somebody who's like really good at this. Like that would be more impressive, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Like Ricky Jay was still around then.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
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 Just have a hand double.
Yeah,
Yes.
exactly.
You just like Gambit. That's all it is.
I do like
Yeah,
that.
I know you
I'm
do.
not
Really,
apologizing
I
for
didn't
it.
say you were.
Well, no, they're still pushing for what's his name to be Gambit.
Channing Tatum.
Yeah, Channing Tatum.
Yeah. We'll see how that goes.
Yeah.
Right, yeah.
Place your bets. Place your bets.
Yes.
nothing against him, but just with the whole situation.
Yes.
Right.
And the buyout and everything. We'll see what their new plan is.
No, you're right. Yeah.
Yeah. After Wolverine Origins, then in the Wolverine, there were some things I liked in that one too.
Mhm.
And one of them is that we finally get the image I always loved in the comics that we would get in Wolverine and also Daredevil comics was the swarms of ninjas.
Mm-hmm.
Just like a whole swarm of ninjas on a rooftop, like shooting arrows at either Daredevil or Wolverine, depending on the story. And
Yeah.
and this was the first time we saw that
Yeah.
in a movie. Is there is a good fight where it's just like a horde of ninjas coming after Wolverine.
Yeah.
And it was, I think, before we got any of the hand stuff in the Daredevil shows, which was good. But like this was my first glimpse of it, and just seeing all of them, like it was straight out of the comics.
Yeah, I'm with you. That is pretty cool. I forgot about that stuff too. That stuff
Yeah.
looked cool, like in the snow too.
Yeah.
Like when he's going to fight the Silver Samurai and stuff.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and like the rooftops are just
Mhm.
covered in ninjas.
Yeah, it's neat looking stuff.
It's like so Frank Miller.
Mm-hmm.
It is, yeah. No, you're right. 100%. It's like
Yeah.
it's right out of that stuff.
Yep.
This is not really a comic book movie, but I think it falls in line with the genre aspect of it and who watches it. I was gonna say the reveal of the double lightsaber in the Phantom Menace.
Okay. Yeah, all right.
Yeah, as much as I had to wade through to get to that scene, it was almost worth it because it was such a simple concept that literally blew my mind
Mm-hmm.
just seeing it
Sure.
and having Darth Maul just flex that double lightsaber like it was nothing.
Okay.
I mean, you can keep the pod racing. You can keep the Gungan sub.
Oh yeah, no, I'm with you. I think the pod racing stuff's overrated.
Yes.
I'll see you the double lightsaber,
Okay.
Uh-oh.
and I'll raise you that whole fight though.
Oh no, the whole fight's great, but as soon as you see the double lightsaber, oh
Yeah.
my god, it's just like, oh, that's a thing. You know, it's just, head explodes.
Yeah, man. With Darth Maul's wooshooing around everywhere. Oh man,
Yes,
that's
yes,
some good stuff.
Oh, great stuff. Yes,
Oh man.
Yeah, that's a good one. I like that one.
yeah. I didn't even think about it till like thinking about it, and then as soon as I saw it, it's just like, child me comes out. I'm like, it's cool, the kid drool because you can't keep your eyes off the scene, and you get so upset when they take it off it and they show you Padme going through God knows what.
Right.
It's like, oh my god, why would you not have me see this all the way through?
Right.
Yeah.
So it's almost the same thing as, you get that cool, again, Darth Maul is one of the best characters that they just wasted.
Yes.
I mean, don't get me wrong. I mean, I know in supplemental stuff, obviously we get him back and spoiler, we get him back. But still, the fact that he's in that and he's great in that, and then they didn't have him be the main menace for the next 2 or 3 movies was just ridiculous. I just remember I remember the build up for it. There was just like the toys and just the image of him, and you're like you want to know what the deal was and why he's there, and
yeah. But I remember that the lightsaber was in the trailer though, right?
I think so. Yeah.
Was it? Yeah, because I thought I saw it on TV or something like that before the movie came out.
No, it may have been, but still, the reveal is awesome.
Yeah, it's
because there was definitely like Frank's right. I mean, there was definitely before the movie came out, like, what's up with this guy with the double lightsaber? And he looks like the devil, and
right, exactly. Yeah, he looked the part of being the menacing bad guy that's easily dispatched within the first movie.
Yep.
So.
Yeah, no, I loved it.
Our engineer just looked it up. He says the dual lightsaber is in fact in the trailer.
Still a good one. Still a good one.
Yeah,
but that's crazy that even when you see it coming, it's still the best scene in the movie, in my opinion.
Oh yeah, it's a great climax. It's a really good, for the movie to get to that point of like all the other, trade embargoes and fake Padmes and you look like an angel and all that jazz.
Yeah,
right.
To get to that point it's worth it. It's definitely a good payoff.
Yeah, I like Watto too. I thought he was a cool design.
They should have made him a puppet.
Yeah, well.
Yeah, that could have been cool.
Yes.
Somebody with a green screen leotard walking around on set with with the Watto puppet like on their stomach.
Oh yeah.
I'm sure Frank Oz could have done it. I'm sure Frank Oz would have done it. They would have gotten him to do it. That would have been okay.
This is a weird tangent.
Yes.
All right, Frank, you got one?
I think so. Yeah, I got a couple.
Okay.
Let me think. What was
Unless someone else has one from Star Wars.
I didn't consider.
Anybody got any more from Star Wars? Let's get it in here, I would say.
I didn't consider. I mean, not that there's anything wrong with it. I just didn't consider Star Wars when we were talking about this. I thought more like superhero stuff, but it works.
Yeah, me too.
Of course, let it be. I was thinking of one from the first Fantastic Four movie.
Okay.
Like I know it's kind of it's one of those things where the movie itself is a mixed bag. I think we've talked about it here and there. Maybe the idea that it's weird that they team up Doom and we have to shoehorn Doom. Maybe it was a conversation we had off air. But
right.
One of my favorite scenes in it is when it's after they've gotten their powers, and Ben is got the ring for his girlfriend.
Yeah,
the one that he was gonna propose with, and then she rejects him out of hand because he's become this monstrous looking thing. No pun intended. And then he drops the ring, or she drops the ring, and to add, basically to drive it home how bad things have gotten for him, and how of all of them he's got the short end of the stick because of the way his hands are. He can't pick up the ring even to basically add insult to injury. And I thought it was a nice moment of, there's always those scenes of Ben. You feel you're supposed to empathize with Ben because he's so human, but at the same time he doesn't look human anymore.
Yeah.
And I thought for a movie that sort of gets some of it right, I thought they got that really, really right.
Yeah. I'm stunned because this was on my list too.
Really?
And I thought for sure that I was like, nobody's gonna do Fantastic Four.
I love that one. I love it.
No, I love the bit too though that Reed picks it up for him.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it puts it in his hand. Yeah. It's a really good bit in there.
Mm-hmm.
There's a couple of good bits in that movie, I would say. But yeah, that one's my favorite from that one.
Yeah, that's a great one.
I have one from the second one though.
Okay.
And that's the moment where it's the bar scene with Johnny and Ben in there. And it's after like Johnny's powers are starting to kind of go haywire and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just a nice scene with the two of them because I mean their relationship, especially in those movies, is so much like Johnny,
right?
You know what I mean?
Right.
Like
I was gonna say, I mean that's the thing about that. The second one that has the extended like gag bit between the two of them, where Johnny's pranking him the whole time, or is that the first one? I can't remember.
I mean, I feel like it's both of them, right?
Yeah.
Like
could be. I mean, it would make sense, but it's one of those things where that was one thing I thought again,
But yeah, I mean, it's nice that in that moment he's not pranking him or whatever. It's just like it's a slower scene,
mm-hmm,
you know.
right?
It's the Kevin McAllister and the old man in the church scene in this movie. You know what I mean? Like,
Of course it is.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, it's just it's good. Like, you know, I like it. It's nice.
Yeah.
It's really nice.
Yeah. No, I agree. They do. They do a very good job in that particular relationship for whatever reason. They do a really good job with. Maybe just the chemistry of the two actors. I don't even know.
Could be. Yeah. Chris Evans always delightful.
He's very good.
Yeah. Any more for Fantastic Four? Curious?
Yeah.
Or from any other Fantastic Four movie?
I don't think from any other ones. No.
I've not seen the other versions. I've not seen the Corman or the more recent 2015 one.
Yeah, I've seen the Corman one a million years ago, and then I in chunks I sat through the other Fantastic Four movie. But no, there's nothing from that one.
Right. Okay.
No.
There are good actors in the 2015 one. That's all I know. I've not seen the movie, but those actors are good in other
there's
stuff.
There's some talent there. It's just it doesn't translate for the script. Yeah.
Wow, I can't believe we both had that scene on here, though.
Yeah, it's a great one.
I have an MCU one that, admittedly, like I'm kind of turning the corner on this movie a little bit, but I really don't like Iron Man 3 that much.
I'm sorry,
but but like watching it again, like on FX and stuff like that, like there are bits of it that I like more, like, you know, as the time went on, but. That bit though, where Tony's got like just the glove and the boot,
okay,
right, and he's like infiltrating like the terrorist spot, you know, their hideout, and like he's just fighting them off with that boot, and he's got like the staple gun or whatever,
right,
and, like everything else he's built. I think that stuff is really cool.
It's not a bad scene.
Like it feels like Tony Rambo a little bit, but you know,
well, it also feels like, you know, that Robert Downey Jr. was a little tired of the idea of having to wear the Iron Man armor and wanted to be able to show his pretty face and not have to worry about wearing the Iron Man armor for that scene or that movie. So, but yeah, I like that scene. I don't have a problem with it. I think it's fun. You know, it's goofy. It's a little Disney-esque for like a Disney.
You think so?
I think it's very Disney-esque for like a Disney era, like superhero, like a Condor Man type moment. Like to me, that makes me just think of like, oh, you know, you don't have time to put on the armor. It's kind of goofy, but you're still fighting off bad guys with just a glove and a boot.
That's all it needs.
I know.
I like some of the other bits to it too. Like I like him like carrying the suit like in the snow and stuff. Like I kind of like the imagery of that. Like him pulling the suit behind him and sitting next to it on the couch and stuff like that when he finds like the kids like the barn or whatever.
Yes.
That he's sitting in it, and like the PTSD aspect of it from like after Avengers, I thought was like really cool. It's one of my favorite bits about the movie.
Oh no, I do too. Like
Tony's freaked out about it.
No, we've talked about it. I don't think we've talked about it on the podcast, but I think we talked about it before. And you know, we just talk about stuff. I think that was one of the things about that I always found interesting was the idea that they didn't do more with Tony's PTSD. But it's one of those things where it's a through line between, you know, after Avengers through Iron Man 2 and Age of Ultron. I think it's part of the reason why Scarlet Witch is able to do what she does so well in the beginning of it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You know, I just think it's one of those things where it's not, you know, I mean, it's supposed to be subtle, but at the same time, it's not really talked about a lot. I don't think.
Right. It's a good motivation for Ultron.
I think, absolutely.
For why he goes about what he does. Yeah.
Yeah. It makes a lot more sense as opposed to just, you know, oh, Tony's an arrogant dick and doesn't talk to anybody about anything.
Right.
It's just he's, you know, it's the fact that he's, you know, he's had that moment of seeing he was up in space and saw what was out there and then fell back to Earth. And then on top of that, he gets to see the possible future, you know, of Endgame. So it's one of those things where, it makes a lot more sense why he creates Ultron. But I mean, I was thinking of one about in Iron Man 2, and I think we definitely have talked about before, is the Whiplash scene on the racetrack.
Oh yeah, the Monaco.
Yeah, because everyone universe is kind of like Iron Man 2, and I like bits of Iron Man 2. I think it's an okay movie, but I also think it's one of those they had an idea and didn't, you know, it's one of those they tried to elevate an idea that didn't need to be elevated with Whiplash, trying to give him more motivation than he deserves.
Right.
But the scene where he just walks on the track is pretty cool, I think.
Yeah, I like that bit too. Yeah, I think they're both kind of movies that kind of are a little all over the place
Mm-hmm.
in some spots. But yeah, I love the Monaco bit in there. You get the cool the briefcase nod
Right.
to it,
Right.
like the classic Iron Man. Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah.
That armor gets messed up though in that fight.
Yes, it does. But yeah, I like that. I think that whole scene is, it established. If they had gone with that and not had to do all the back stuff with, Whiplash and Tony's dad and his dad and all that, I think it would have been much better if he was kind of just a thug that didn't like Tony Stark.
Mm-hmm.
Or found a better angle. I think it might have worked better. But I like the balls it would take to do that, to walk out of the track and then as those Grand Prix cars are zipping by you. So I like that scene in a movie that generally it's okay.
Yeah.
And we have to shout out Sam Rockwell's dancing in it. Always a highlight of any movie it happens in, and we will celebrate it every time.
Yeah, I thought that was gonna what you'd be going for as a songwriter.
Yeah, Justin Hammer dancing on the stage.
Right.
Yeah, man. But no, I forgot to mention with the X-Men stuff that Clifton mentioned earlier. In X-Men 2 United or X2 United,
Mm-hmm.
Uh-huh.
the Nightcrawler scene.
But is that a bad movie?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying though. Like, I love X-Men 2.
Yeah, I don't think X-Men 2 is regarded as being bad.
Okay,
Yeah.
well, okay.
I mean, I love the Nightcrawler.
But you're right. The Nightcrawler scene's awesome.
It is. It absolutely is.
You're right. You're
Yeah.
right. It's not. You know what? I reserve that. I'm sorry.
Do you have anything from X-Men 3
Right.
or
Oh, no,
Apocalypse? Maybe.
Yeah.
I refuse to watch that one.
Yes.
It may have the greatest scene in it.
I have something from Dark Phoenix that I really loved.
I do as well.
Ooh, tell me.
Okay. Yeah.
That from Dark Phoenix, the scene that made it for me that I was glad I watched. Otherwise, I was kind of like, this is a mess. Was the Dazzler scene.
Yep, that's on my list.
I knew it was. I knew it was going to be on yours, Clifton. I knew for sure.
Yep.
But yeah, that Dazzler scene is really like for the payoff of waiting for so long to get that character in anything really outside of comics. It's cool. I thought they did a really good job of her, of the performance, and then her, looking like she would, like she looks like she does stepping out of the 70s book.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
And do you remember who she's played by?
Halston Sage.
Yeah, from if you've seen the Orville, she's from
Yep.
that. But yeah, she was great. It was a great scene. I like that one a whole lot. The rest of the movie, like I said, it's not much.
I like the Morrison costumes, even though
Yeah.
Right.
like it didn't happen in the 90s. Like,
Right.
No, it did not.
but what
it
I
did
like
not.
is the Morrison costumes were kind of like a reaction to the original 2000 movie.
Mm-hmm.
And now it's like the movies are aping the comic that was aped from the movie. And It's this
Right.
weird like snake eating its own tail.
Yes.
Yeah.
Right. Like what I really liked about the Dazzler scene, because the setup of it is that they're just partying in the woods
Right.
and using their powers. Like she's lighting up the woods and singing using her powers is just part of this, rave in the woods. And they're just messing around. And like in the comics, in the X-Men comics, I always loved the moments with like Mutant Ball
Mm-hmm.
when they'd be playing, whatever sport they were playing at the time, baseball or basketball, and using their powers, because like it was a school that was supposed to be normalizing their abilities, like
Right.
normalizing them being mutants. And that's what kids with powers would do, would just be like, how do we screw around with this?
Mm-hmm.
And the fact that it was just kids in the woods partying and using their powers, I thought was a perfect, modern take on that.
Yeah, no, I like that scene a lot.
Yeah. I can't think of a single thing from Apocalypse. Not one. Not one. Punk Storm. That's cool.
Yeah, Punk Storm's hard to beat. I mean, it's always a cool visual.
Good costume.
Yeah, it's always a cool visual. Yeah.
Yeah.
But, I mean, no, it's not very good, unfortunately. I mean, I was trying to think the Quicksilver scene, they go back to the well on that one, and that one they could have just been like, they should have just left it from the first one, and
Yeah.
nah, it's not very good.
Yeah. Someone else name something.
Okay, here's a stretch.
Okay.
Okay, I'm not sure if anybody had this on your list, but I can. Again, it's a tangent from the superhero genre. It's the baseball playing scene in Twilight.
I'm sorry, what?
What?
When they're playing baseball,
No, I get
with
that.
using vampire powers.
Oh, okay.
In the thunderstorm.
Yes.
Oh my,
Yeah.
you both know
I've
this.
seen it. Yeah.
Okay.
I've seen it. And
Yeah.
that's the only thing I was like, that's an interesting concept. That's not bad. Everything else, no.
Wow.
Okay, why do you like it so much? I'm
It
curious.
was I mean, I wouldn't dream up to use vampires playing baseball.
Right.
It's just how to even write that into a movie, you know?
Yeah.
It's with it was like somebody just messing with you. You know, it's just how we have time to kill. Hey, they're gonna play baseball using their powers.
What cracks me up is that they're all wearing the same jersey.
Yes.
Like they all changed for it.
Yeah. They made it an official thing.
Yeah.
But to me, it never made sense. Is why would someone go down there because they think they're cracking baseballs that loud? I was like, I wouldn't care. I was just people playing
Clifton,
fireworks.
I'm guessing you haven't seen it.
Nope.
No.
Okay.
YouTube. It's
so the setup is that it's starting to thunderstorm.
Yes.
And the whole family gets like super like
Excited.
like it's Christmas morning. Like yes, it's thunderstorm, and then they all run out to the field.
Yes.
Right, because of the thunder. They can play baseball like uninhibited, right? Because of their powers. Because when they hit the ball, it's so loud that people will think it's just the thunder.
Yes.
It's in the air.
That seems like they're going a long way to get vampires to play baseball.
But it's them flexing their powers. That's all it is.
Oh, I get
That's
it.
all it is.
I understand. I'm just saying it just seems like a long way to write that scene of like, no, we have to pretend that us cracking the baseball so loud is, it's like, okay, sure.
I didn't justify the scene. I just thought it was cool.
Okay.
Yeah.
All
In
right.
fact, to me, I thought that was the coolest part of the movie.
And they're all in like the Babe Ruth, like baseball jerseys, like
Yes.
old school ones. Yeah.
Yeah, never seen it. I mean, I know of it, obviously. I know it's a huge thing, but never seen it.
Oh, Tommy, that made my night. Thank you. That's funny.
Did anyone else have that on their list?
Yeah. No, yeah. I'll be shocked if any of you
No,
had that on there.
it just eked out of mine.
Ah, okay.
Yeah, that thing, that scene is like, what am I watching? Yeah.
Yeah,
I'm shocked that Frank was so appalled by my decision to put Twilight on this.
it's just not a superhero movie. One.
Well,
two, I up till this point, I never knew that you'd actually seen it.
Well, the first one, yeah. If I said like the third or fourth one, then you can
say like, oh yeah, of course. Like that's again something I would assume that you saw.
Again, I'm a Buffy fan and an Angel fan. So when they drop a vampire movie, of course.
A sparkly vampire movie, you had to see it?
Again, this wasn't until after I saw it. So in my defense, I didn't know what I was going to go see.
Ah, okay. Gotcha. You were tricked.
Oh, definitely. I jumped ship after that first movie. I wasn't an avid Twilight,
No, I don't know because I didn't know that you saw it.
Well, it's not like I talked to you in earnest about this wonderful movie I saw. That's the whole point.
And let me tell you, there's this baseball scene.
Wait, when you see it, you're gonna laugh.
Makes the movie worth it.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah, see? No. Let them see the scene, and they're like, I get it. That's all.
Okay.
I just wanted to see the scene.
Okay. All right, very good.
Please scoff at my sensibility.
I think I'm just stunned. It's shock. It's more than anything else. I need a warm blanket.
Oh, no, this is the first movie. I'm allowed that.
Sure, of course. Absolutely.
Yeah.
I got okay, I'll bring up Spider-Man 3 here.
Go for it.
And I'm gonna say
it's the emo scene. You're gonna say the emo scene you love, right?
Yes.
That's not the one I'm bringing up. No. I'm bringing up in the beginning when Peter's on the motorcycle and Harry jumps him, and it's Harry as the Goblin fighting Peter like in plain clothes, and they're fighting like in the sky. I mean, it's a really, really cool fight scene. I really like it.
The scene, you mean like the scene where Harry gets brain damage?
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, that's the one.
Yep.
Okay.
That's the one.
All right. Sure.
Yeah. I just think it's staged like really, really cool. I mean, there's a bit at the start of it where I'm like, I wish that they had like Peter turn his head or something to be like his spider sense kicked in, and it was just too late to do anything about it.
Right.
But no, I think like there's a cool bit where, like he's throwing Peter through like windows, like there's a corner of a building and he goes like into the building and then out the other side.
Right.
It looks awesome. And then there's the bit where he's trying to catch like the engagement ring because it fell out of his pocket.
Yes.
And like
Yes.
Harry's like kicking the crap out of him in the air. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's really cool.
I have something from that movie.
Okay.
So I will defend the dancing scenes.
Okay.
Okay, sure.
I mean,
Go right ahead.
I know it's supposed to be, you know, it's Peter being, you know, weird and cringy, and it's one of those things where universally there's a million memes for it. But I still maintain that Peter Parker he's a nerd, right? He's a nerd. Always has been, always will be. Has no idea what being cool is. Has no idea what it's like to be a cool person, quote unquote. Peter's not comfortable with himself. He's totally insecure. The only time he's secure is when he's Spider-Man. So it's one of those things where, to me, those scenes make perfect sense because that's what a nerd would think a cool person would do.
Right.
I mean, that's one of the things where it's so over the top and so overcompensating that I'm like, no, obviously it comes off that way because he has no clue.
Right.
Yeah.
No, but I defend that if he felt like a nerd at one point. Nothing. I know who he is, but in those films, for some reason, after the first one, I never get the feeling that he's nerdy again. Just whiny.
I mean, I could see that. Sure.
Yeah. Which to me, it just didn't. It wasn't my. Well, that's a whole nother thing.
I think there's a little bit. Yeah. No, I mean, I see what you're saying, Tommy, but I half agree and I half disagree too with that because there is a bit where like he goes to see MJ's play and he's talking about like the acoustics in the room.
Oh no,
or something like that, which I like also. And I remember when it came out, like I was explaining to a friend of mine, like why that scene sets up how he defeats Venom. I'm like, you know, he has like an understanding of this,
right?
Of you know, of the sound and the physics of it and everything, and that's why he puts the pipes around there. You know, it was just weird movie, but yeah.
no, when explained that way, I get the nerd, but it's just. I always thought that Peter was an exceptional nerd.
Yeah.
He was more into the science stuff that didn't portray as much. That's why I kind of brushed it off as the creepy guy thinking he can dance.
Right.
Yeah,
I'll say this, like I mean, I'm with you. Like that's what he thinks cool would be.
Right.
And I'll be very honest. Like I love that this scene exists.
Sure.
Like I love that it happened. Right. And that we just have it for, like you said, like an endless number of jokes and memes and stuff like that we could do. But what surprises me about it is that they did it.
Yeah.
Right. It's like for all the talk of like what we know the alien costume to be. And like, and all the producers like talking in interviews before that were like, by the end of this movie, we're going to want him to take the suit off. and I'm like, I was like, oh man, like we're going to really see Peter be evil. I'm like, that's it.
Yeah.
Like this is, you know,
not such a big deal.
And he's telling the neighbor girl, remember, where he's like, go get me some milk.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's just the dirtbag. He's not really evil.
Oh, Spider-Man 3.
Okay, what do you guys think of Constantine?
It's a movie.
Okay. I've never seen it.
Okay. Well, there's one scene in there that I like in particular is when the devil shows up at the end. I don't know why I like the scene. The whole thing of where he's having the discussion with the devil.
Right.
And he tries to drag him at the end and it becomes so heavy. I don't know. It felt right. The whole thing with Gabriel and that whole bit. Yeah. I don't know. I don't know. The androgynous look of the alien. I mean, that's the alien. Angel. How the devil is swarmy, like dirty, but clean in a way.
Okay.
Or slick or greasy. I don't know. I just I would see that movie and go straight to the ending, and that's all I'd watch. Everything else,
Gotcha. No, I mean, I vaguely remember it. I've not seen it since it was in theaters, so.
Okay, so then it's not something you like. Cool.
Well, I wouldn't say that much. I remember I like the devil in it, and I like the depiction of the angel, if I remember correctly, in it, but that's about it.
Yeah, Tilda Swinton.
Yeah, that's good. I like that, but
yeah, it had young Shia LaBeouf.
Yes.
So there's that.
But no, I love the ending of that movie. It's creepy, weird, and the tar that when the devil comes out, what's attached. It's just, I don't know. It's just the imagery of it all is just, ugh.
Yeah.
Yeah. Everything else is like, I guess it's a terrible world to be in, but whatever.
I'll skip it then.
Just watch that scene. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Just watch that scene.
What about Suicide Squad? Anybody got anything from that? Because I do.
Okay, go ahead.
So I really like. I guess it's a spoiler because it's at the end, but I really like the bit with Deadshot helping his daughter with her math homework.
Mm-hmm.
I just think it's such it's a dense character scene,
Right.
and it's such a simple small bit, but he's helping his daughter with geometry, essentially, right? So it's this nice moment. There's somebody in his life he cares for, right? You know, he talks about her throughout the movie and everything, and it's like it's the only thing that he cares for in his life. So it's a nice, sweet moment, but the way he's helping her with her homework is he's explaining it through like the trajectory of bullets and ballistics and stuff like that. And so I love that there's like this irreverence to it where like it's unapologetically him. Like he's not ashamed of what he is or what he does. And this is it. And this is his way of explaining it to her.
Right.
Which she gets.
Oh yeah.
You know, and she seems to be okay with it. So it's like she knows what he is.
Right.
Yeah. It's a great bit. I'll defend Will Smith as Deadshot. I will.
Very good.
It sounds like you will.
I like it a lot. I like it a lot. He's the one thing I wish we were getting in the James Gunn one.
Sure.
Yeah. That's a whole nother disagreement. I thought he could be something else as opposed to Deadshot.
Yeah, I'm glad we're not. I feel like he would. I
agree.
I mean, he was fine as Deadshot. I just feel he would like overshadow whatever they're trying to do in that one.
Right.
That's my only thing.
No, you're not wrong about that. I think.
You know, I think
it becomes like a Will Smith movie.
Yes, exactly.
I think just from him being in it, but yeah, I just
I think that's part of the problem with that whole thing is the idea that as much as I like Margot Robbie as Harley Quinn, I think trying to shoehorn into a covert team has never worked for me.
Mm-hmm.
It's hard to when that's the face of your covert team is a character that I'm sure is splashed all over the pages of Gotham City's newspapers and TV all the time. It's kind of hard to be like, yeah, it's just part of a covert ops team that does stuff for the government.
I just think for Will Smith, I think there are things that come off as Will Smithy that also to me but to me also read very much like, nope, that's Deadshot having a dead wish.
Oh yeah,
right.
Oh no,
like peeling that back, like what that scene is Deadshot being, like when he's in Rick Flag's face and he's sort of like, well, shoot me then.
Yeah.
It is such like a Will Smith delivery, but it is also like that's 100% what Deadshot would say, and it would be like that, like just sort of like, I'm going this way, do something.
Yeah.
Like.
Oh yeah. I mean, like I said, people bag on that movie all the time, but I still say of all that early slate of DC, movie stuff, at least the characters act like the characters.
Right.
Yeah, but I see what you're saying as far as how he's defiant, but that's the whole point of the bomb in his head. You can't be that defiant to the point you're going to shoot me.
Right.
I mean, it's the whole nature of the control over him. Like it just as great as you feel about Will Smith being in that role, for them to do their own thing is not a possibility. Yeah. It's that air of she don't care about you one way or the other.
Right. But I think it's set up well in that movie because at that point Flag needs them.
I mean, they need
Flag's
them overall.
Not getting out of there without them.
No, I mean, they need them overall. I'm not escaping that at all. But, but it's just the defiant nature of what he's saying because really, there's a group of people you think should be dead by all means. So giving them a reason is well past the point.
Right.
That's all. But it did make me think about another DC movie though. Superman Returns, the bullet scene.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I liked it when they showed Superman when they remember, I think it was the bank robber scene.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, in which they shoot the gun at him, and they follow the gun, and it like bounces off his eyeball.
Yeah.
Right. It's like a Gatling gun or something, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
It's just a nice moment of, it's underscored how truly powerful he is.
Yeah. I also like in that movie, I enjoy the scene with him, the plane. I think the plane scene is really good in that too.
No, the plane scene is really good. I forgot about the plane scene.
Yeah, I think the plane scene that's one of the best things about that movie is they get that, him doing that, and then isn't that the scene where it starts to crumple at the very beginning? It's at the head at the end of the plane. It's a nice bit too of like, oh, you'd have to think this out a little more about how you're going to stop it. You can't just stop it, in its tracks. Otherwise, you tear right through the plane. So,
I have a really stupid one from that movie.
Okay,
I don't know if it's stupid.
Like it's really tiny. It's a shot. It's in there for a second.
Okay,
but it's like you're down on the street with like people, and Superman flies overhead.
Mm-hmm.
And what I like is that there's no like whoosh like sound effect. It's just like the cape like flapping in the wind. You just hear like. And I'm just like, oh, that's neat. That's neat. Like it was just one of those things. I'm like, I've never seen it that way before.
Mm-hmm.
I can't believe they gave Lex toupees though.
Yeah.
Like that and the dancing Peter scene. Like that's one of the. I'm like, I can't believe that decision like made it past people.
Yeah.
Well, that was the throwback to Hackman. They were trying to be the Richard Donner Hackman Superman 1.
Yeah,
where he had the room full of wigs.
Mm-hmm.
It's dumb.
No, it is.
They were just trying to make a throwback.
Dumb throwback.
I feel like they always want to do it at this point. It's always the go-to of Lex in the cinema.
Yeah.
Where he has to have he has a pride thing. He doesn't want to be seen with a bald head.
Right.
Yeah, I mean that's my thing about it. We've talked about it 100 times. Just not on the show. It's like the character and the property and the books had evolved so much from Christopher Reeve, and yet it was still like who's great. I love Christopher Reeve's Superman, but it's still like
we're still beholden to it.
Like we're still gonna we're going back to this again. Like
Yep, gotta. Yeah, if we're talking like the Christopher Reeve movies, I was looking, thinking back on some of those. I still like the evil Superman scene in Superman 3.
Mm-hmm.
I like the bar scene of him, melting
the peanuts.
Yeah, shooting the peanuts into the bottles, and then and then the bit of like him melting the mirror. I like all that stuff, and then I like the fight in the junkyard. I think it's a cool fight because it's one of those things where you see, it's one of those because Christopher Reeve isn't really known for being like, especially in those movies, isn't known for playing like menacing characters. Wasn't known for playing menacing characters, but he looks kind of he looks for being like a down on his luck kind of evil Superman. He pulls it off when they're having the fight between him and Clark Kent, and then the nice bit at the end where he's basically come back into his own after getting the kryptonite that's made with tar. that Gus Richard Pryor has made. That whole fight, I like that fight, and then like I said, the end of it for him to reclaim it and be Superman again, I think is a nice bit. And a movie that really is just for a movie that was supposed to be about Brainiac that isn't about Brainiac is not a very good movie.
Yeah,
I like how he portrays schlubby Clark. Like he's messy. I mean, he's not as knowledgeable of his powers. It's almost like he's struggling more than he should be.
Yeah.
No, it's a nice. No, I agree with him. You almost feel like it's two different characters that he's playing.
Yeah, and he does a really good job of pulling it off. That's my thing. Is like for being, because a lot of times when you have those evil twin moments or evil I'm split personality or whatever moments, it's not a good one. One shines through, and I think he does a good job playing them both.
Yeah, I forgot about that. I always thought it was weird that they needed Richard Pryor to sell a Superman movie.
Yeah, well, Richard was big at that point.
Yeah, that's crazy to think he's bigger than Superman. I mean, that's a weird demographic to want. Kids, right. Kids are clamoring for more Richard Pryor in movies.
Well, yeah. Well, it definitely wasn't kids that were listening to his albums. So
no, not at all.
No. So yeah,
they didn't have the confidence to cast him as a major villain. Like he could have been Toy Man or something. It would have been great.
Well, he would
right after the toy.
After the toy, right?
Yeah,
exactly.
Can I bring up a Batman movie?
Of course.
Yes, there's one I think is so-so.
Oh,
Of
well, I'm
course.
waiting to hear which one it is. This is the shock of the year. Go ahead.
Okay. So it's all over the place. And weirdly, like I got a lot of bits from this movie. But,
Okay.
Which one?
Dark Knight Rises.
Oh.
Oh, okay.
So I'm gonna go with really like I'm just gonna say Bane, because I like Bane in it a lot.
Okay. As a character, you didn't
not
like
just not just the voice doing impersonations.
I love the voice. I love
Okay.
what cracks me up now is watching Tom Hardy movies now, and is every once in a while his voice kind of banes up a little bit.
No.
Like I remember thinking that in Mad Max in the beginning. I'm like, it kind of sounds a little like Bane in that bit.
Mm.
That
No,
one
I
line
agree
there.
with you. I agree with you.
Yeah. But the scene where he kicks the crap out of Batman,
Mm-hmm.
I love this scene. And what I think is really cool is that like it's so well directed, and this is a scene where like it's a fight scene where the choreography doesn't pull me in at all, and it's really more just like staging and just like the craft of it all.
Mm-hmm.
And there's no music in it, which I think is cool because it makes Batman feel vulnerable because he's usually fighting with an orchestra
score.
backing him up,
With a score, yeah.
Okay.
Right?
Okay.
which is neat. I love that like Bane's footsteps sound so heavy, and it makes him sound so powerful.
Right.
And Batman like punches the crap out of Bane,
Mm-hmm.
and he just keeps coming. And his body language is almost like he's letting him get his shots in, almost like he's just taking them, just eating these. And then Bane drops him with one punch.
Yeah.
Right. And then, so that Bruce like resorts to gadgets. And then this is where like we get like there's so many cool lines in this bit too. Where like so he starts throwing the gadgets at him, and then Bane's like theatricality and deception, powerful tools to the uninitiated, which is a nice callback to Batman Begins, right? But then he's like, "But we are initiated, aren't we, Bruce?" Right? And so I love that it's sort of like like I'm you, I'm the bad you, right?
Right.
You know. And then there's another great line. So like he shuts the lights off. Right. And then, so I'm going to try. I'm not going to do the voice.
Oh, okay. Come on,
but,
just do it.
I thought you were. I thought you were.
But he says,
You can't help but do it.
You think darkness is your ally, but you merely adopted it. I was born in it, molded by it. I didn't see the light until I was already a man. By then, it was nothing more to me than blinding. And then he just catches Batman, who's trying to sneak up on him, and just starts punching the crap out of him again.
I think you should say the quote again, but in the voice, because I'm not feeling it.
You're not
I gotta
feeling
be
it?
immersed in the scene, sir.
I gotta muzzle my face here. Hang on.
Yes, you do. No, you do. I think you do a great rendition.
You think darkness is your ally, but you merely adopted it. I was born in it, molded by it.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. No, I remember that scene.
Yes.
Great.
Yeah,
Yes.
it's a
Great
good
stuff.
bit.
Yes, it is.
Yeah, I mean, again, it's things I like about it. I just wish they had gone a little more, I don't know, traditional with Bane as opposed to.
Yeah,
That's all.
it's a weird movie.
It is. There's some odd choices in it.
To say the least.
Yeah.
Great. I mean, so many good lines in it, though.
Mm-hmm.
You know, then we will destroy Gotham when it is done and Gotham is ashes. Then you have my permission to die.
Right.
Yeah.
That's awesome. That is great.
Oh no, I agree. I'm not saying that. Again, I'm not saying he doesn't say some cool stuff. It's just kind of, it's a little. Like I said, there's some weird choices in it.
Yeah. Anne Hathaway, awesome. But I remember one. It was like after I saw it, maybe like a week or two after it, I was like, I woke up in the middle of the night. I'm like, did they make people like? Did they sentence them to walk on ice?
Mm-hmm.
Like
Yeah.
what was that? Like,
Yeah.
Right.
That's how they sentenced him to death. Walk on some ice.
yeah.
So my favorite Dark Knight Rises moment comes not from the movie, but from someone talking about it after the movie.
Okay.
Okay.
But this will hold up. It is a friend of mine named Julianne told me she saw it with her fiance.
Right.
And in the movie, while they're watching it, there's the scene where there's the nuclear bomb and they're trying to figure out how to dispose of the nuclear bomb.
Right.
And she said, like, in that scene, she just turned to her fiance and said, "Some days you just can't get rid of a bomb." And
Nice.
I was like, oh man, that is too perfect. And then I was like, is that what they were doing? Like, is that what this scene was supposed to be?
That's awesome.
Some days you just can't get rid of a bomb.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
No. For some reason, it called me back to the old, the campy Batman.
Right, that's in the movie.
Yeah.
Like that's when he's running around on the docks holding a bomb,
Holding
trying
a
to
bomb.
throw it
Yeah,
away,
yeah.
and then like
Yeah.
sees the marching band. Like
Yeah.
this was the big budget Hollywood version of that.
Yes. Yes.
Yes.
That's fun.
That's good stuff.
Pittsburgh Steelers got booed in my showing of it. It was weird.
What?
It was so weird.
Even though most of them died.
like when that scene happened and like that guy turns around and then everybody, like the whole theater just like boo. Like, I did not expect that.
Right.
Like,
It was Heinz Ward, right? Is that who it was?
yeah.
Yeah.
Should have expected it.
Wow.
Right.
That's funny.
I'm not going to talk about Batman and Robin, Batman Forever. I love those movies, so whatever.
So whatever.
That's fine.
They're not
That's fine.
so to me.
Okay.
That's fine because I don't have a good scene to bring about from that.
Right.
I'm racking my brain to think of a good scene from Green Lantern.
Just say Taika Waititi.
Yeah, that's it.
Well, there it is. There you just named it.
He was the co-star
Mm.
as
Yep.
the like geeky best friend.
Yeah.
I don't know his character's name. I've only seen the film once, but
Right.
I was thinking about the guy who plays Sinestro.
Oh, Mark Strong.
Yeah.
who was
Yeah.
Savannah, right? In Shazam.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. And Merlin in Knights or Kingsman.
Yes, he's very good in that.
Mm.
Mm-hmm.
So I found one in I know we've talked about it before, the one really good part of Justice League.
Oh, right.
Okay. Okay.
And it was one of those, we talked about it before. It's the scene where, spoilers, Superman comes back to life, and the Justice League are fighting him, and you've only got an Atlantean who may be tied to magic or a creature of myth, but they're having trouble with Superman for some reason.
Yes.
Right.
Because magic still affects Superman, I think. Anyhow, they're fighting and they're trying to hold him back, and the Flash runs up at super speed thinking, I'm going to be so fast that Superman can't, won't be able to touch or catch me. And Superman has that look in super speed and matches the Flash and knows that he's there. That's like the best scene in it for me.
Yeah. Yeah. When Superman's moving
Mm-hmm.
at regular speed. Yeah.
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 Love that one.
Yeah. It's a nice bit.
It's a great bit. I wish that much thought had been put in the rest of the movie that's put in that scene,
Right.
because that really works. But other than that, nah, not so much.
What?
Yeah, for sure.
Oh, you might get 4 hours of it.
I like
Of that one scene.
Yeah.
I like Jeremy Irons' wardrobe in Dawn of Justice.
Oh,
That's
okay.
about it for me.
Yeah. Yeah.
He's got
Yeah.
nice suits.
Does he have a good watch?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. I got one from a superhero adjacent, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
G.I. Joe Rise of Cobra.
Mm-hmm.
It's the scene where Snake Eyes fight Storm Shadow, but it's the one where they're little kids,
Yes.
they're children fighting each other.
In the kitchen.
It's a great scene.
Yeah.
Great scene.
And like Storm Shadow comes at him with like a cleaver.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
like, oh, he's not messing around.
Yeah, they're just grabbing whatever they can get in that
Yeah.
kitchen.
Mm-hmm.
Man, that fight is awesome.
It's a great fight. I agree.
Yeah.
It's a great scene of two kids just beating the crap out of each other.
Yes.
It's the best fight in the movie.
Yeah.
It really is.
Yes. Absolutely, it is.
Like, we were just gushing about like Ray Park as Darth Maul, like jumping around everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
He's Snake Eyes and a little kid, like,
Yeah.
outshines like every fight scene with him.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Such good stuff.
Yeah.
Totally worth it just for watching that scene.
Yeah.
It is.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
There's one other shot though that I have to bring up,
Okay.
which the engineer and I refer to this as the broodiest shot in all of movies.
Okay.
You remember this? Oh man, it is so angsty. So it's the moment where like the Joseph Gordon-Levitt Cobra Commander
Mindbender.
Dr. Mindbender
Right.
thing dies. And like Channing Tatum, Duke, is at the funeral right? So I'm gonna describe the shot here. Okay, we're in a graveyard.
Okay.
In the rain. He's on a motorcycle in a black leather jacket with sunglasses on. Takes them off, and he has an eye scar. There's so many layers of broodiness in that scene.
Right.
It cracks me up every time. I was like, man, that's laying it on thick. Oh, I'll try and find pictures of that. God, I love that scene. I'm going to make that the wallpaper of my phone.
Is there a crack of lightning behind him?
Right.
Probably.
All right, to close out, we've all saved our absolute favorite moment from an, it's all right comic movie. First, if you like the show, you can check out all of our past episodes on YouTube and letmeknowhowitis.com. Just please, however you find us, don't forget to like, subscribe, and leave us a review. Finally, if there's anything you'd like to hear Clifton, Tommy, Frank, and myself cover, be sure to leave a topic suggestion on Twitter or in the comments. Our Twitter handle is our show's initials, LMKHII. All right, Tommy, I'm going to go to you. What's your number one favorite moment from a so-so movie?
I don't know. I'm so sorry. So sorry. You may have to come back to me. I was going to bring back the Twilight scene just because.
Oh, man.
Just because. I'm sorry.
It was a hit from the top half of the show.
It was.
Okay. All right, Frank, Clifton.
All right, we talked about some of the Sam Raimi Spider-Man movies, Spider-Man 3 we talked about. I'm going to talk about another Spider-Man movie, and that's the Andrew Garfield, Mark Webb, Emma Stone movie. And like, I don't hate these movies by any means. I like them a lot more than other people like them. And
Right, yeah.
But
Me too. I'm with you.
But yeah, like they're not my favorite Spider-Man movies. And in the second one in particular, there's just one scene that has to do with the fight in Times Square with Electro.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a good fight scene. It's a good Spider-Man action sequence. It takes place in the middle of Times Square. But what it is that stands out about the scene to me is that scene begins with Peter and Gwen, Andrew Garfield and Emma Stone, having a semi-argument, like a relationship argument, where she's talking about leaving, like going overseas. And then the threat happens, which is Electro, and he, dons a Spider-Man suit, fights this whole battle. And as soon as the battle ends and she's safe, the first thing he does is goes right back into the conversation they were having and says, "So you're leaving." And it just picks right back up. Like this whole fight, like the whole thing, the only thing on his mind was the relationship thing. Like through this whole fight, like it didn't distract him. Like it was like that was what was going on. And like I really liked that because like we've talked about before about Spider-Man, like the personal relationships are the most important thing to Spider-Man, and like the balance of the superheroes and the personal relationships. And I just thought that was a really good illustration of it, that like that's the real conflict for Peter.
Yeah, I'm with you. I think I like the second one also like a lot more than the first one, but like yeah, I think I like those movies way more than what is commonly heard out there. I mean, like I like Emma Stone in that movie a lot. I think their chemistry really works to me.
Yeah,
All right, Frank, what's yours?
My favorite, well, I mean, the one that I thought of the most when I thought of like so-so or really not so good movies was, and I've talked about it before, is the scene in The Spirit between Gabriel Macht and Sarah Paulson when he goes to the hospital. And I've talked about it before, like it's the only scene in the entire thing that reads at all like a Spirit Will Eisner scene. We've talked about the Frank Miller at Comic-Con talking about directing, talking about how we're going to a dark, dark, dark place, folks. And it tries real hard to be dark, but the Spirit doesn't really work when it's super, super dark because it's not really the Spirit. But that scene in particular, where it's flirty between the two of them, and she doesn't want him to go out as a Spirit, but she wants to stay. It's a great back and forth between them, and then the movie tunes right back into being a bunch of crap. So that one to me is when I think of like, oh, it's such a gem, it's such a nice nugget, and it never ever comes back to being like that tone or feel ever again in that movie. Okay.
I am going to go with the Ben Affleck Daredevil. Pulling that one out. And I'm going to say, so this is the romantic in me coming out. The kiss scene.
Okay.
Right? When he kisses Elektra for the first time. Like, I love this scene where like he's outside and it's about to rain. And then she's like, oh, we should get inside. And he goes like, no, let's stay out here. Like, this is the first time like I'm going to actually get to like air quote, like see you. Right. And it's like, it's by far also like the most capable like he is in the entire movie is this scene. But I just like the idea of like the rain, because it's hitting like every surface that's like within earshot of him. Like it sets off his radar in a way that he can essentially like see clearer than he ever can.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and then as a result, like he can kind of like project like what she looks like. I love this scene. I think it's a great scene.
I thought you could see the deprivation tank scene.
Oh yeah, he does sleep in water, doesn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right. Because stick's not a thing in that movie.
No.
Yeah. Well, that's a shame. Electro Nachios. I just remember like Michael Clark Duncan.
Yes.
Which that was cool too. I was excited about that. I was like, man, he's gonna be an awesome Kingpin.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, but we got a good show out of it.
Right.
You know? Good show came out. Yeah. All right. Okay, be sure to tell us some of your favorite moments in some so-so comic movies on Twitter and in the comments. As always, we'll post links and examples to everything we talk about on letmeknowhowitis.com. Please remember to like us and follow us on social media. Thanks for listening, and we'll see you next week.